Hi guys, and a very warm welcome back to the mobile studio. Now today I have got something quite different for you, in as much as that Clarabelle has got to go in and have some work done, and I am going to do a plein air. So let's roll that intro and let's see how it pans out. Okay guys, welcome back. Now, as I said just now, Clarabelle is going in for a little bit of work to be done, just to complete a couple of jobs that needed to be finished off to bring it back to tip-top condition for the future. Now, where that location is right out in the countryside, but I have got a friend and clients who live very nearby. Now, they have a stunning garden, and I've actually painted there before, and I'll tell you more about that during the course of the painting process. But they have kindly invited me to their garden this afternoon while Clarabelle is having all the work done to her, to be able to do a plein air and yeah, just enjoy myself basically. So that's what I'm going to do. We're en route there now, and when I get there I'm going to leave Clarabelle in trusted hands, where I know she's going to get all that little bit of work done to her, and I am going to go and set up camera. I hope the rain, it keeps threatening, and where I'm just coming through right now there has been some heavy downpours by the look of it. So I hope that we will have a good painting session and you guys will enjoy that process. And I also hope to do a few sketches for maybe doing a watercolor for next week's tutorial on the watercolor studio. So we'll see how it turns out, and I'll keep you posted. I'm just looking around the grounds and just trying to figure out what I want to paint. And there's some stunning little areas like this one here, for instance, which really is ideal. Some beautiful clouds, and if I turn a little way this way, you can see what is on its way. And we've just had a little shower, which I felt was going to be set in, but it's cleared up, and hopefully I can get a painting in. That's the plan. No idea, but we shall see. But I'm going to continue walking around and show you a few more other aspects of this beautiful garden. Okay, I'm looking around this beautiful garden. As you can see, there is a stunning little lily lake here, which I'm just going to look at and see if there's something here I want to do. But there are so many aspects. Okay, I'm around the other side of the lily lake, and I haven't taken anything of the grand lake stream behind me. So we're still looking at this beautiful lily pond, and there is this great big tree which has been heavily pollarded in the past to one side, and I really quite like the whole thing, but whether or not it will work in a composition, I'm not too sure. So I'm going to keep looking. I've still got so many options to check out. So yeah, this is proving quite interesting. It's a stonking garden, I've got to say. There are so many painting opportunities here, as I've sort of shown you already. And I'm looking at the main area now. This main lake is right near the edge of the hills themselves, and it's where all the initial aquifers, as it were, bubble up from underground and start feeding this water system, and the other ones that I've already shown you down on the lily pond, and that little tranquil stream that runs down under the bridge. Now, I've got to say about this one, this has a particular memory for me, because a good few years ago I was invited by the people that own this to come here and paint a picture for my new book. Now, I was creating a book on painting water in acrylics for Search Press, and I had a lot of fun doing that book, but this scene, not quite this one, but further on the other bank I think, is the scene that I painted for the book. And yes, there's a lot of fond memories, but today is not as sunny as it was that time, I've got to say. But I enjoyed it nonetheless, and it's nice to be back here considering doing another painting and enjoying it. I do have to say that I am rather spoiled for choices, and I don't know where to set up my easel and paint. I really don't. So I'm going to walk around a little longer and just to take it all in, and then I will probably come up with something, or something will strike me really strongly and I can set up then and have a go at it. But it does mean to say that when you are out and about like this and you have a scene with so many potential options and possibilities, it really is worth taking your time walking around. And as I say to many people, sit on your hands for a few minutes, just take it in, soak it all in, and then move 10 feet one way or another, or even 50 meters one way or another. Take it all in and then make a decision. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Okay, so we've got the lovely burnt umber in, and we have got that blue black in. So let's move forward, and I want more of my earth tones. So I'm going to come in with some transparent oxide of red. Now this is a more transparent version of burnt sienna. So if you haven't got this one, don't worry about it. Just use burnt sienna and you will be absolutely fine with that. Just going to grab a few brushes for the job. Now I'm going to use a long filbert, of course a rigger, and I'm going to use some of these little shorts. I'm quite getting into those at the moment, but I've got a little dagger as well, and a somewhat slightly larger dagger. I'm not sure whether I'll use that this afternoon, and a slightly bigger flat and a thinner filbert. There you go, more than I need, but it'll be okay. Okay, so now you can see what I'm seeing, but what I want to do is I want to put the tree in to the left, but I want to cut that tree out that's in the center of the picture, or move it to one side. So that's what I think I'm going to do, and yeah, we'll see what happens. All right, so first and foremost then I'm using a number, or a 0 little long filbert. I'm doing that to sketch with. What I'm sketching with is a little bit of my Gamsol, a little bit of burnt umber, just to allow it to move onto this panel. This panel has been treated with an old-fashioned type gesso, which is whiting, rabbit skin glue, whiting, and is then heated into a bit like a creamy soup, and then it's applied in several layers, and it does make this absorbent. So there's little point in trying to color this before I start painting. All right, let's crack on. So we've got this beautiful pond situation in here, and I'm just going to sort of sketch that in quite shallow because we've got a lot of stuff to get in, and we've got a bit of bank on the other side, a bit of hedgerow there, a bit of a hill, and I still want to get some sky in. So we've got all these different layers to contend with. So let's just come back here first. I may even cut that down a little bit. You can see how the paint is sucking into that surface. It's a well-known old recipe, and I might put in the details should any of you wish to find out how to make your own version to apply to boards. But you can see that it does suck the life out of your paint. So you need quite a bit of movement in the mixture, the painting medium that you decide to use. So I'm going to put in, oh, it's ever so windy, I hope you can hear what I'm saying. I'm going to put a little bit of that little turquoise colour in my sky blue. So I've got cobalt predominantly. I'm going to wet this up a little bit. A lot of white, a bit of that cobalt teal, and more of the cobalt paint. Now there's a lot of oil in this part here because it's slid all the way down the canvas on the mixing. But I'm not too worried about that. Just going to put in our sky. So we are really sort of starting to go with this now. I said now my blue, I'm not happy with it. And my sky colour. So what I'm going to do is just change the brush. I'm going to come in with a small flat brush and I'm going to wet that up. I'm going to mix down that blue with some more white. Tap in a bit of that lemon to it. Not too much, we don't want green. I want to bring that blue down there. See if I can't make it. That's probably too pale. So let's come back in. A little bit of that cobalt blue, like that, a little bit of that green. Let's see how we get on with that colour. Not bad. I just felt that the blue at this lower level was just a tad too blue. I'm going to bring a little bit of this across the back of our hill here, along the top here. Just suggesting they've got a bit of sunshine in parts, picking up that lovely green light through there. Okay. It's changing all the time. And one thing I'm going to say right now is that when you are doing a scene where the sky is altering upon you almost minute by minute, then stick with the game plan, stick with where you started. If you started with rain, stay with rain, even if the sun comes out. Just carry on working it as if it is still raining as well. But the more you chase it, the more you're going to end up with a big mess with your work, and that's not the idea. The plan is to end up with a painting that works, of course, and chasing light really seldom ever works out properly. Okay, but I think that's where it's going to sort of stop for the moment anyway, until I can assess it more. Part of me wants to take that out altogether, and I'm going to stick with it and see where we go with it. What I do want to do though is very quickly come down here with a bit of light like that, and just put in this sort of field colour, strong colour of light in the back here. And up into the back there, and I don't know what's beyond at that point, I can't really see, but there are a few taps in here which I'm just going to suggest so I don't forget them. Lighter values into that and just try to establish the darks. Always try, if you can, I know I didn't here, but always try and establish your darks before you come in with all those light colours. Otherwise you will have a bit of a problem. Through here, a little bit of green into some of this dark, just to suggest that there is something in there. Shade or shadow is not all about black or darkness. There's a number of facets of colours that you can see when you look into it. Again, you can't get that by sitting in a studio. You know, you can take all the photographs you want, but at the end of the day, there's no substitute from seeing things actually in the wild, actually in the fresh air, taking it all in, soaking up the scene, and enjoying what you're looking at, and conveying that onto a canvas that other people can enjoy, and also get a little feeling of what you saw. You're taking them there for a ride. This is why, one of the reasons why I wanted to start a mobile studio channel, purely and simply that I could sort of enjoy my painting but at the same time I could bring those watching what I'm doing along that little bit of a journey and trip where you go out and paint nature, plein air. Alright, the sun has stayed about and the clouds, I'm touching wood as I say this, the rain has stayed off and just given us some exquisite lights and darks on here. So let's get this water sorted out, and I'm going to come in with a cool greenish colour, but quite light. I just want to run that across there, just see what that looks like. Not quite happy with that. Alright, I'm going to come in with a dark. I want to come in with a blue and a green, a little bit of red into that, a bit more blue. Keep mixing until you're really happy with that look. I'll put in some dark areas in our pond. Needs to be a bit of orange in there, I think. That's probably a little too much. But that, there's a bit of green in that, a little bit of that cobalt in there. That might just swing it. I just want that dark statement into that pond area. It's probably bigger than it actually is, but not a problem. I'm going to change this one slightly down through here and into there, and then I'm going to come in here with a bit of it as well, right through there, forming the edge of our pond. And it's quite dull at the moment because there's an awful lot of reflected light off the pond. So maybe I've got to think about making this even more pale, stronger. There you go. Maybe that will do the job. Taking some of that into there. A little bit of that green into it too. And back into that violet colour. Sometimes it's very, very hard to judge it in an instant because the next second it could alter completely. Alright, I need to bring in now some blue and some magenta. With that King's blue again. A little bit of that red into it just to corrupt it. And some of that turquoise green colour. And a little bit of yellow wyandotte. There we go. Just mix those all together and just look at this area here because we've got a big sort of darker shady part which is mimicking this colour over here. And you don't see it until the sun's out, so you get the sense of that blue light, shady light. Close off some of these gaps up in here, so we just make a thin tract of dark in there. Side, and I'm just going to go and pick up my rigger. What I want to try and do, if I can, bring a subtly reddish, grungy blue-violet colour, bit of orange in it too, a little bit of cobalt in it, much more blue. I want it sort of, not necessarily dark brown or anything. I like the blue colour. I want to try, if I can, and bring our fence line all the way through here like that. A little bit more fluid to it to make it move a little easier. I'm going to bring bring that through the back there like that, and another line of rail. I'm supporting my hand like that. I need to bring a little bit more on this top one like that. A bit more on the bottom here as well, that will work. Like that. There we go. A little bit of the bottom rail of our fence line. Not worried if my marks are exactly one sort of line or thick and thin. It doesn't really make a lot of odds. Okay, now I'm going to come in with a slightly darker blue colour. Don't want to replace all the darks with light, that doesn't work at all. You can tell I'm saving all those beautiful pinky orange colours of the flower heads right for the last minute. I want to make that cooler. It's a little too yellow. Very cool leaves on whatever this plant is here. Again, it could be another young gunner up right up the back there. And come back to that somewhat greenier green colour again. A little tuft of stuff coming down here to the water's edge. Okay, now the shadow of that light, there's a tree shadow there. I've got to ignore it. I didn't put the tree in. Would have been good though, because that cast shadow is really working well. Let's just come through here with a bit of a different green, but light green. Just to make these ones really sing in the foreground. So I'm going to use a little bit of white, a little bit of lemon yellow as well as the orange, and try and see if I can't make these really work out as I would like them to. Very hard because you're seeing all this beautiful colour, and it's only the contrast between the two colours that you're going to achieve what you seek. Not easy to do. And I'm going to bring that up here. And there's so many flower heads on here, and I'm not counting them. I'm just punching this colour in, and hopefully that will do all I need it to do. Like that. A few up in the background there. Alright, so that may not be the end of it, because I think I'm going to come back in now with a little bit of lemon and white. And just try and carefully, the trouble is with white, it just cools down the colour, and it's very hard to keep that light excited. And I think that's not working, so I'm going to come in with a bit of pure yellow, a bit of pure orange. Let's see what we can do with that, what damage we can make with that. I think it's certainly a bit punchier. I think it's probably the better way to go. go. Alright, I think enough is enough. What I haven't done is that line of hill with the trees and bushes on top. So I'm going to come quickly back in and just put in a little bit of information up there, just to finish this painting off. Breaking up some of the shapes on the top there, through the back there as well. Looks like it's continuing on a little bit greener, a little bit less blue maybe on the top. There you go. All the way through there. These are the last bits and pieces that we're going to be doing. A little dark through there as well. Breaking out some of those forms. Maybe a little bit in there, and grab a bit in there. There we go. Alright, enough is enough. I think this is a lovely little painting. I've enjoyed making it anyway. I hope you've enjoyed watching it. Just going to put a signature in the bottom corner. There we go. Alright, one painting done. One little plein air landscape. Not so little and not so quick, but it's been nice doing it. It's been nice having a play with the paint. And so I'm going to get packed up now. And I'm going to go and see where Clarabelle has got to. There we are. Looking forward to it all being finished off. Still got the inside of the roof to do, got to say. That is an area of replacing the roof lining on the pop top has tormented me a little bit. I can't find anybody who is of a reasonable price to do it, but never mind, we will cross that bridge in due course. Okay guys, well, many hours later, many hours later, one painting done, one Clarabelle done, finished. She's looking better than she's ever done. Basically she's just had some electrical work done, but she's gone lithium, and we have got a lovely Roma 160 now powering this beastie, and it makes the ability to go off grid for any length of time for me, painting wise, an absolute dream. I had an AGM in there, that's gone, and everything's been swapped over for lithium. So yeah, I'm really happy. It's not been a cheap deal, but I think long term it's a good investment, and it will last as many years as I want to continue driving, camping, painting. Well, I never stop painting, but yeah, it's going to last me a long time, so I'm really pleased with that. And I've also been able to do a nice little painting for you guys to enjoy in my client's garden. And hopefully you enjoy it anyway. And I think I've done quite well with it, really. We don't know, you never know until you get back in the cool light of day and have a look in the studio, and the next morning, as it were. Sometimes these things have worked very, very well. Sometimes you think, oh, you know, I need to do a little tweak here, a little tweak there. And it's your choice, you can do that. So I think it's not a big issue. But I'm going to go home now and clean out my brushes, cleared down everything that I've been painting with. I've messed up a complete t-shirt. I didn't even see that happening. I'm absolutely covered in half of my palette on my t-shirt, but never mind. That's the way it goes. So I'm going to catch each and every one of you next time out in Clarabelle. And as I said earlier, please, if you've liked this, then consider subscribing to the channel if you think it's been worthwhile watching, as with any other of my videos. And yeah, Don't forget, you can, if you want to support me a little bit more with all the effort of filming, petrol even, if you want to help me out, please, there's a link underneath this video. As again, as I said earlier, that if you want to, you can happily buy me a coffee. There is no obligation to do so. It's just if you want to support, help me out with what I'm doing. Anyway, enough of that. I'm going to let you get on. I'm going to go home, have some dinner, and I'll look at the footage later. Catch you all in the next one. Take care for now. Bye bye.